Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 47 of Baldur's Gate 3. We are, give or take, just a couple steps from where we were. I did pop back to camp to drop some stuff off, and I had Jaheira cast up some good berries so that we could heal up both Alyssa and Minsk, who were a little bit low on health, but here we are, exactly where we left off, and that's just outside what appears to be the House of Grief. I think that's the name that the journal had for it. And there's somebody wandering around here that we haven't spoken to yet. I want to talk to Grief Guard Afara.
Welcome. The House of Grief lies just within. We are here to help.
With no additional information, let's take a look at stacks of scrolls. There's fewer scrolls here than you might have been led to believe. And nothing in the mailbox, which is surprising. There's often... people in Baldur's Gate don't pick up their mail that often. Our very famous ominous autosave. I also had a thought about our zombie quest in the last episode, but why don't we take a look around here and we will talk about that as we return to it. A self-help book suggesting all depressive woes can be cured by drinking the oil of freshly grown olives. All right. In the real world, I would call that dangerous quackery. In this world, there's all sorts of potions that do all sorts of things, so sure, why not? Drinking olives makes your grief go away.
Welcome to the House of Grief. Are you here to be unburdened? Whatever ails the heart, whatever weighs upon the soul, we can help.
Wow, just fork over $1,000 right now. Unburdened, what does that mean? Although we talked to some people just last episode, I think that we have a pretty good sense of it.
We release people of the suffering in their hearts, melancholy, anger, self-doubt, troubling memories, and of course, grief. I think you could benefit from our help. In fact, I think you desperately need our help. I sense turmoil in you, even if you cannot bring yourself to admit it.
Oh, that is true. I am deeply miserable, including in ways that I'm completely unconscious about. Have $1,000. This absolutely smells like a scam. The question is, do we want to say it straight up front? Why don't we ask her? I mean, aside from the fact that we do look like we have recently been scraped along a sewer wall, I desperately need help. What makes you say that?
A great deal of people in need have entered that door. In my time, I've come to recognize their suffering. Admitting you have a problem is the first step, the hardest step. After that, we will be by your side.
Usually a god would have been mentioned by now. Is this a scam? We have +2 to wisdom and advantage from the Ring of Truthfulness. Let's go for it. And we have Jaheira here. No, that won't be enough. I do think that we want to use insight on this, or inspiration. We've only got the 1 point, but boy, do I want to know more about this. 20's a high call. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but whatever. 19, we did it!
You sense a truth behind her words. She genuinely wants to help. However, it seems truth is not the only thing behind her words. Something is being hidden.
That was actually really interesting to me because I fully believe that this is a scam. I think it's still a scam. The idea that she seems to believe that she's doing the right thing will moderate my... like, why would we say at this point that it smells like a scam? If she doesn't think it is, then we're just being abrasive for no reason. You seem to think you know a lot about me.
The insight of an unburdened spirit. I too was once weighed down. But now, I am free. Before I came here, I was given to drunkenness, wanton violence, licentiousness of every sort. But now, I am saved. As you can be.
I'm very curious on what she has to trade. Let's see what we can get away with without forking over cash. I want to be unburdened.
There is the matter of the fee. A trifling sum compared to the peace we can grant you, rest assured.
Are we allowed to tour the facilities? I'm thinking that I will pay $1,000, but I also very much want to look around first if I can. I just want to trade? Okay, and she sells garbage. And in fact has no money. Look, she has absolutely no cash at all. And I'm not even going to bother looking through her books. I'm sure they're great. But yeah, we can't even sell her wares.
I should speak up. Sounds like there's gold.
Welcome, friend. Your burdens are soon to be made as light as a feather. Trust me.
Alyssa was just saying something about it sounds like there's gold inside, but I don't know what she might have been referencing. Can I read any of these things? Oftentimes you can read things without getting in trouble. An application form inviting members of the public to become a friend of the House of Grief. Several tiers of donations are outlined. In return for benefits such as having your name listed in the thanks section for their next publication, bespoke calming tonics, a plaque in your honor, and even a complimentary session to be unburdened of your woes. The amounts of gold start modestly, but soon climb to staggering amounts. Client list. Can I look at that? Let's maybe skip past the names unless we recognize one, and I do not. One person had a melancholic heart, paid in full and referred to unburdening. Craven heart, paid in full, then backed out. Okay, that's kind of funny. Jealous heart, paid in full and referred for unburdening. Prying heart, paid in full, had an adverse reaction to the mapping of the heart and fled, no refund. Marco Crean was a possible false name. Curious sort, not local by accent. Black hair, pale compression, prying heart, paid in full with unknown gold currency and was referred for unburdening but fled. This is so specific. I wonder, black hair, pale complexion, prying heart, paid in full. Mother V has ordered we seek out this Marco Crean. Oh, hold on, this goes on then. If possible, during his mapping, she detected thoughts and memories of strange lands and unfamiliar people. Fixated on a sword, or possibly Zord. This is so much a reference to something. Mother V's interest was piqued. She wants that mind. The trail has gone cold. It's as if he vanished entirely. If someone could leave a comment at some point of what this is a reference to, like, is this a Power Rangers thing? Zords? I'm gonna move on because I don't want to just sit here and look at this page for the rest of my life. But oh, I'm so curious. Moving on. Cleona Frostley, Violent Heart, paid in full, unburdening. Melancholic Heart, paid in full, referred to unburdening. Arvs, is this the person that we just met outside? The guy that was fascinated by a squirrel, I believe. Become our friend. Can I... Wait. Oh, no, we read that one. And now we've looked through that. Security guidelines. Let me just peek over this lady's shoulder. From the quill of the Mother Superior, Lady Shar's sacred halls must be defended at all costs. Ensure that all who are assigned to guard duty or service in the House of Grief are aware of the correct protocols. Secrecy is our first and best defense. The House of Grief is more than a facade, it is a shield. Maintain it as if your life depends on it, for it does. The hidden passage leading downwards must remain sealed unless indicated otherwise on my authority. Should foes penetrate the lower levels, the main hall before the Chamber of Loss shall be our final redoubt. If all else fails, destroy anything that may be of use to Lady Shar's foes, preserve her secrets, do not allow yourself to be captured, take poison, fall on your blade, swallow your tongue, do not betray the Dark Lady. Shar's all about secrets. The hidden passage leading downstairs. That's very important. A detailed budget. Why are they leaving this in the lobby? One column are listed items such as donations, book sales, and profits from sale of memories. Sale of memories? They just leave this in the... Okay, sorry. It's just a lot. I think that you would take the "we're selling your memories for profit" part of the business and maybe keep that in the back room. The next column includes supplies, bribes, and informer fees, poisons and rare substances, and more. Next to one paltry offering in the income column, an angry note has been added in elegant script. Unacceptable. The Dark Lady's Church cannot thrive on crumbs. Do better or be replaced. V. Self-help volume... prone to deceit and insincerity. Let us speak plainly, dear reader. You may believe deception to be an art form, one that benefits you more than it harms you, but this is the worst lie of all, the self-deception that shall one day be your ruin. But how can you break the cycle? It can prove difficult to speak the truth when lies come so easily. Instead, perhaps do not speak at all. If you cannot be honest, then at least you can be silent. That's not terrible advice. And then we've got Moran.
You're eager. Good. But there is a right order to things. Before you can enter, you must agree to the House of Grief's terms. And price. Speak to the attendant by the front. She will put everything in order for you. Then, you will be free to enter.
What's even through there?
That is where the mapping of the heart takes place. Where all who seek to be unburdened open themselves up and lay their wounds and sorrows bare. But it is not for you. Not yet.
Okay, I don't think that we can just say, come on, and get past here. Intimidation, maybe. Deception. We do have advantage from the hat and then the +1, but persuasion is... Yeah, no, so the effects cancel out. So we'd get a +4 and no advantage. And then intimidation. Let's reach for deception. It's not an ability that I use all that often. Do we have any other ways to make it more likely? We may not even be able to call this up again. Let's go for it. Wait, 25? Why are we bothering? I mean, I'll add this, but we basically need like a 19 and then like a perfect roll. Oh my god. Oh, Anna, I can't do math. I am very bad at math, ladies and gentlemen. We got exactly what I put into the universe that I wanted. We came up one short. Wow, okay.
And leave my post unmanned in the meanwhile? No, you can enter on our terms or not at all.
Okay.
Greetings once again. Perhaps you have had a change of heart? The unburdening can provide succor to all.
We'll do it.
Wonderful. Let the healing begin. First comes the mapping of the heart. You will be asked questions. It is important that you answer as truthfully as possible, so that we may know precisely what burdens you the most. The mapping will take place in the next chamber. Please, follow me.
Oh, I was about to say, what happened to Moran, but he's right there. Okay, she just leaves, or what? Okay. I hope I didn't miss the opportunity. Hold on.
No need for that. Just needed to stretch my legs. Won't happen again.
Please, enter. The mapping of the heart requires utmost privacy. It will begin as soon as you are seated.
Do not look upon me. This is your time, not mine. Look inward. See what will be discovered.
Who are you?
Do not be concerned with who I am. Instead, consider what I can do for you. You are here because something grieves you. Perhaps you know what that is. Perhaps you merely think you know. The mapping will reveal your heart form. Then the healing can begin. Answer the questions I put to you, and answer honestly. The lips may try to deceive, but the heart will offer the truth in the end. Let us begin. What last caused you to shed a tear?
No, she would have been sad about Will. Let's go with loneliness.
So be it. The second question. What is your unspoken desire?
An unfamiliar presence caresses the deepest layers of your mind. You realize she's trying to detect your thoughts.
The second question. What is your unspoken desire?
I feel like confronting her immediately. You're not here to help, you're trying to dig around in my thoughts.
And this is the most effective way of helping. Besides, you are not above slipping into another's mind. I saw for myself. But let us spare the pretense. It seems you and I have more to speak of than your heart's struggles. For the record, you have a violent heart. I am Viconia de Vere. The House of Grief is mine. But what lies beneath? That belongs to my mistress. And that is where you must go.
Viconia de Vere. Alas, I know you a little too well to follow you into a dark hole in the ground.
You would have caught your foul scent had you not confounded his nose with evil Sharon incense.
Always a pleasure to see old acquaintances. But you would be wise to not interfere in what is to come. We will talk more down below.
Okay, why are we all jumping around and causing darkness? So, Viconia is another character from, I'm relatively sure, Baldur's Gate 1. I never adventured with her because she was very evil, and I don't enjoy doing evil playthroughs in general, and certainly not in that game. So I actually don't know very much about her. If not for Jaheira and Minsk, I would not have placed her.
Glad that caught my eye.
Button. So that opened this gateway, I'm sure. Alright, so I guess we'll head downstairs as soon as Alyssa moves? What's happening? Uh-oh. Can't get anywhere, apparently. Oh. That was weird. I was clicking and we couldn't move at all. Oh, this is just a placeholder. We click here and it's going to take us to a new area. I'm so sorry. I was clicking back here being like, just go forward. Syringe, always a good sign. So is there any point in sneaking? I feel like they already know that we're here. The volume describes the full process of unburdening in exact detail. Valuable targets are identified from those who seek out the services of the House of Grief. If they're willing to pay, they proceed to the mapping of the heart, where the Inquirer of Grief will question them while discreetly probing their thoughts for anything that can be of use to the Lady of Loss. Following this, targets are ushered downwards to stand before the Mirror of Loss. Given the correct prompts by the Inquirer of Grief, the target will surrender memories to the mirror for the benefit of all of Lady Shar's children. In the same stroke, the mirror can remove memories of what they have seen in the cloister, as well as whatever they believe to be the source of their troubles. Then they can be turned loose, blissfully ignorant of the offering they made. And then they're selling these memories, is what we've also come to discover. This is... It's literally Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, maybe minus the selling of the memories, but it's still like a really clever way to turn a profit on the Lady of Loss. So we probably don't want to stand in front of the mirror. Interrogation training, Cloister of Somber Entrance, infiltration training. Well, let's go see if there's anybody being interrogated. Not currently. Interrogation in 3 levels. A manual for Sharan interrogators describing 3 levels of induced stress: emotional, physical, and lethal. It emphasizes eliciting information over punishment and cautions the interrogator against becoming emotionally involved in the process, either sympathetically or sadistically. Alright, that's everything out of the interrogation chamber. Let's check out infiltration. I saved this one for second because I didn't know if we would walk in there and find a bunch of people all being invisible or really trying to be invisible. Okay, I like the selection of various costumes. And for better or worse, no rolls for any traps, which means that they're either very well hidden and we're about to blow up, or they didn't bother to put anything here. Let's read book. A roster of 5 infiltrators is written in an elegant hand. Above their names, it is noted that this group have proven themselves to be the most skilled and have the greatest chance of successfully obtaining the artifact, but they remain utterly expendable. Shadowheart is on the list! Calden Darkwood, we can see the rest of them. They sent out a well-balanced party of adventurers, and only Shadowheart we ever interacted with. I'm gonna pick that up, but I feel like it's mostly relevant to someone who is no longer here. The pages in this handwritten notebook have been torn out, except for the final page, which was only partially removed. The remaining text reads as followed. Ren agents, in summary, must be trained to deal with conventional, illicit, and Githyanki traps, locks, levers, and controls. But most importantly, they must be mentally prepared to face extreme situations under dire alien conditions. Casualties are expected, but that circumstance must not halt the mission. Agents are to be deep imbued to regard mission success as critical, even beyond survival. I feel very strongly, the more that we've learned about this place, is that this is where, I feel like it's very obvious now, this is where Shadowheart was supposed to bring back the artifact. A detailed report from a Sharan agent, Dark Adept Bilvoy Reed, about the activities of Enver Gortash, an armed smuggler the Sharans had designated a person of interest. The report concludes with the lines below. Gortash, whom we believe to be a follower of the tyranny godling Bane, has recently been consorting with a leading adherent of the murder godling Baal. The pair were observed entering the Devil's Fee, where they conferred for over an hour with the establishment's proprietor, a known Diabolist, Helsik. This must be considered significant, as Helsik is reputed to be able to open gate portals to the Hells if her extravagant fees are met. Well, if we didn't know where to go before, this information would have come very much in handy, but we were able to get our way there another method.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
going?
Mother Superior will deal with you.
I don't want to alarm anybody, but I feel like we might be walking into a trap. Okay.
You and I need to speak. Always a pleasure to see old acquaintances. But you would be wise to not interfere in this matter.
We already spoke while you tried to poke around in my thoughts.
Unnecessary ruse. One that allowed me to seek out your true intentions. The House of Grief attracts all manner of people, but only some have value to Lady Shah. You have value. Quite an adventure has brought you to this point. Illithids, kidnapping, infection, the Hells, hunted by cultists and Githyanki alike. And, of course, the artifact.
Of these choices, it's called an astral prism, and let me guess, you want it. An old song, take my word for it.
Its name does not concern me. Its power does. I have been awaiting word of this item for some time, ever since I dispatched a cadre of Lady Shah's children to retrieve it. I have been very patient, but no more. I felt Shadowheart's presence in your mind, and with it, the artifact. She succeeded in retrieving it, but then it is you who appeared, not her. Where is the artifact?
I left it on her body after I killed her because she was annoying. Why? Do you want to be annoying? I'm surprised that this isn't a deception roll. Long gone. Why do you even want it?
I did not consent to questions. But I suppose you have undergone a great deal to reach this place. And anything I tell you cannot compromise me now. For you will either leave on my terms, or not at all. Whispers reached my ears from all corners. Potential rivals of Lady Shah, all vying for the same prize. A new god, amassing the disaffected, the outcasts, those who should turn to us. This absolute is but an upstart, disturbing the natural order and threatening to impede the glorious return of Lady Shah's pure, endless darkness. I had to act. I had to strangle that foul conspiracy while it was still in the cradle. We learned all we could. The artifact was the one thing the absolutists feared. The one thing they desperately wanted to keep out of their enemy's grasp. I had to have it.
Shar bid you to do all this?
Lady Shah's concerns lie elsewhere. With another. But she is a goddess. She can afford to ignore that which does not threaten her. I must keep her faith alive in mortal hearts. I must defend her ways, lead her children, stop all threats. Even if I must go against her wishes, I will prove myself her most loyal servant.
Viconia trails off, holding your gaze with a dark, hungry look. She has staked everything on acquiring the astral prism.
I don't think that I should tell her anything. And she's probably going to say, well, I already saw it in your thoughts or whatever. But I'm not going to tell you. I don't want to lie to her. Or we just say nothing. Just say nothing. We're just going to wait for her to continue.
Too late to keep your counsel, I'm afraid. You already revealed so much to me during the mapping. Humor me with a little negotiation. Perhaps we can find terms that will allow blades to remain sheathed.
I'm going to read through this, but it seems to me like the non-negotiable point in here is that she gets the astral prism, and we need it so that we can free Orpheus, and he's going to help us get the crown and all the rest. So that's we simply can't negotiate on that. I will say that if Viconia and her friends wanted to help us against the Ballists, I would welcome their help. Any assistance in a storm, I have no problem with these people and their religious stuff. That's their own business. It doesn't affect me. But I do have to keep the prism. You wish to negotiate, make me an offer. There's nothing to discuss, but let me hear what she has to say. You wish to negotiate, make me an offer then.
How about the artifact for your life? And perhaps even my support in the battles yet to come against the Absolute.
The artifact alone can't save you. Best if we unite against our common enemy, the Absolute. This is going to have like a 30 DC, but why not give it a shot? 20. Okay, and then we'll add our bonus. And I really want to put Will's Blade Ward back on, but we'll give this a shot. It's plus 5 to 8, so it's within reach. It's just unlikely. You guys did it.
My interest is defeating the Absolute. It seems you're on that path already. I will not have it said that I am unreasonable. Shadowheart, surrender her to me. She has much to answer for.
Oh man, lady. Really bad news. So I'm just going to again note, we use non-lethal attacks, and the game has non-stop reminded me, like, they just treated her like she's been dead ever since. So this is where it is. She is dead.
She was mine to deal with. You robbed me of that.
I suppose dealing with you will have to suffice.
Killing me will achieve nothing. There's a far greater threat to face together, the Absolute. Yeah, don't let your being mad at me ruin what could be a beneficial agreement. Yeah, no. A 20 or nothing. Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum.
The Absolute shall be dealt with in time. You shall be dealt with right now.
Lilala! Fasha!
So here's the good news. We get to go 4 times before Viconia gets to go once. Let's learn a little bit about her. Shield of Faith, so she gets a +2. AC 20 is not that high at this point. Affected entity can't be targeted with enemy attacks or spells. Wait, why? Can still take damage from spells that influence a larger area. Condition ends if the affected entity attacks or harms another creature, and will receive Sanctuary blocked for 1 turn. So basically we can hit her after she hits us. That's a little rough. Whenever you take radiant damage, reflect it back at your attacker twofold as force damage, so let's not do that. Shield of Faith also grants a +2 to saving throws. So we could use a fireball or something similar, except I don't think I brought very many of those. Advantage on saving throws. When a foe hits you with a melee attack, you can use... Well, we can't hit her with a melee attack right now. Shadow Ambush. 4 to 32 necrotic damage when attacking from the shadow. So we might want to throw a Hearthlight Bomb on her. Oh, we definitely do. Yeah, she gets all sorts of advantages to being obscured. While in sunlight, the creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and perception checks. So we can't hit her right now is the problem. So we sort of have to just let her be. She has a lot of friends. The good news is they're not a super high level. That Justiciar is a bit of a problem, though. We need to move this action economy back on our side. The next person that gets to go is this friend over here, Owl Talon. Chihira. Plant growth would be helpful. Spike growth is better by a lot. Yeah, no, we can lose the guidance. This is going to go real well on all of those guys. And then Jahira's probably going to wild shape at this point. Unless, you know what, that would probably mess up her concentration, wouldn't it? Also, it's an action for her. For some reason, I thought it was a bonus action. Let's move her back behind this post so that we get fewer attacks coming in. That brings us to Alyssa and also Minsk. So if these guys are going to be spike growthy, we want Minsk to maybe come in, fight these guys over here. What's our order? That person's way in back. The sentry is currently spike growthed. All right, so then it's going to be this person's turn. Let's bring Minsk. He can get here in one turn, so let's do this. That's his bonus action. And now... I hope he has Long Strider on already. Whirlwind attack. Sure, let's hit both of these guys. It's not a high chance, but it's something. And then I guess he gets another attack. I wouldn't mind beating her up a little bit more. Piercing strike. Although I'd rather do that on this person. Yeah, let's do this piercing attack. And we've got gaping wounds, so that's extra damage on future attacks for 2 turns. An additional 2 piercing. Removed by healing. Okay, let's have Alyssa exploit that.
But to keep going.
So we would prefer to be high up, but high up right now does feel like it's going to put her at significant risk. Let's just see if there's anything special about this person. Pretty high strength, born into darkness, see through magical and non-magical darkness. So Corvus's ability isn't going to be very helpful against this person. Advantage against targets standing in darkness. I do think that we're going to want to throw down a Hearthlight Bomb. Shadow ambush. Yeah. How much of this area is... It doesn't look that dark to me, but I don't know. Let's do our sneak attack. And then maybe a hamstring shot, if that's available. We might already have done it. Also, I should have done Hunter's Mark. I think hamstring is spent. Yes. All right, so just regular attack then. Why don't we prevent healing? Let's shoot her with one of the arrows that prevents healing. And then we'll just pull back.
Don't waste a step.
We don't have to hang out with these people.
I am Lady Shah's instrument. You cannot win.
These guys are all in spikes. We're going to leave them in spikes. When do these guys get to go? Yeah, the benefit is that we got to go a bunch first, and then we've got a lot of enemies coming up behind us. Oh, it keeps going. Holy hell.
Holding back.
So, Will, what do we got? What's our best option? A lot of these guys can see in the dark. These 2 sentries are level 4, but they've got enough hit points that we can't drill through them too quickly. And they can all see through darkness, so we can just skip any sort of blocking their sight. Maybe we'll set Will up to, like, defend against these guys. Why don't we have him Blade Ward? Come up the stairs here. Taunt. Well, hold on. There's like a challenge to duel that I wanted. We'll try to challenge the duel Hendley here. Okay, so now that guy has to attack Will, and hopefully won't do that much damage. And that's his turn. Corvus, and then everybody else gets to go. I'm thinking that we bring Corvus up here to block the stairs as best as possible. Let's do bonus action dash. And we're gonna come like right here. And then try to peck out this guy's eyes. And that's all we got. I don't know where his, like, actual blinding maneuver is. There it is, rend vision. But that's not the one that we did.
Lady Shah's will shall be done. Sure.
Jeez. Okay. Jaheira we can move out of the Merc. I think that we absolutely want to shapeshift her. At the moment, I feel like some sort of a bear would be really good. Yeah, owl bear. Let's do that, but just in case it screws with any of her concentrations or whatever. Nobody's standing in the spike growth anymore, so we're gonna have her be owl bear. Nope. Hold on. Owl bear. And unless she's got like a cool bonus action, enrage, sure. That's both of her actions. And I'm sorry. So this guy did get fearful. That's good.
Time to push my luck again.
Yes. Alyssa, let's go up the stairs. We'll get out of the cloud. And then almost any action right now to push the action economy back onto our side, I think is the way to go. Do we put a couple bullets into this, or... I have to say, I've rarely seen a better use for Fireball than right here. I'm just not sure if we can reach it. Okay, but I know we have scrolls of Fireball. Fire Shield. Are you serious? Do we really not? Darkness is not gonna help us. Otherwise, that would be great. Conjuring Elemental would be nice. Color Spray, we're too far back. Necrotic damage isn't our best bet. Oh, Cloud Kill. These guys aren't immune to poison. Can I cast this? I would prefer not to hit Minsk, but I have to say I'm not above it. If we go right there, that hits many people that are not Minsk. Okay. That's going to make life very unpleasant for them. Now we've only got a bonus action. And now she's concentrating on Cloud Kill, so we don't want to do anything that's going to mess up with that. I could drink a healing potion. I could coat my weapon with poison. Let's drink a healing potion. Wait, that's... Drink a healing potion. I'm unable to heal myself right now. Because I'm bone chilled. Okay, then we will coat our weapon with poison. Minsk. So I don't think that we can do whirlwind attack again, and I'm wrong. We can absolutely do it again. And this time I think we hit even more people. Disadvantage. Is there any way to release his disadvantage? Because he's not undead. He is poisoned. Oh, so the poison we can deal with a bonus action, I believe. Okay, hopefully that helped. And now we don't have disadvantage anymore. Let's be very careful not to do the radiant damage, though. Whirlwind attack. Okay. Go, Minsk. And we still get another attack. So this guy turned into a purple person. Umbral form. An additional 1 to 8 necrotic damage, immune to non-magical attacks, and can make an additional melee attack each turn. It cannot cast spells while maintaining this form. As far as I know, Minsk has a couple magical weapons. He just needs to land a hit with them first.
Fighting is futile. The darkness awaits you.
Okay, we lost Cloud Kill. Now it's time... So we still have Blade Ward up. This person's compelled to duel. So we know what he's going to do, and I want to try to hit this person. Let's try to compel this person to duel as well. Okay, so now we have them both sort of locked down. Let's try to do some bleeding damage. It's really good. Look at that. Yeah, Will doesn't always shine, but when he does, he shines bright. And then we're going to end his turn, because that's all we've got. Oh my god. You guys, I don't think we can survive this. I mean, and I kind of mean at all. This is really, really bad. So if we jump, we get an attack of opportunity. I can't stay in the darkness. We can rupture, and that will hit one guy. As far as I can see, this does not generate an attack of opportunity. Okay, let's rupture all these guys. And that's pretty much what Jaheira's got. Illicit can move up slightly, and I mean, we could disengage, which we have to based on her number of hit points. Okay, so we disengage. We move up. If we have a potion of speed, this is like the time to use it. That gives her one additional action, but not the ability to pierce any of this darkness. All right, how about a lightning arrow? She has to move through the darkness to do that, and I don't want to. How about an exploding arrow? But, Alyssa, just, like, shoot it over here. What? I seriously don't think that you have to move to do that. Okay, that... Wait, that hits Jaheira. This does not hit Jaheira and hits everybody else. That ended the darkness in the area, so that's good. And now we've got one more strike. We're going to try to kill this person. Anything to move the needle back in our direction. And then for his bonus action, we'll... Right, we're prevented from healing, I think. Cannot regain hit points. You guys, they've completely bested me. Like, I have nothing.
May darkness consume you.
I have to say, Jaheira's holding it down with that spike growth spell. That's still active. She hasn't lost her concentration through any of this. She became an owlbear and then got knocked out of owlbear form and has 4 guys, maybe 6 guys, all wailing on her, and she's maintained that concentration the whole way through.
I offer your death to the Night Singer.
There's so many guys around Jaheira that these folks are having to, like, yeah, no. So let's give that another roll.
You and I need to speak. Always a pleasure to see old acquaintances. But you would be wise to not interfere in this matter.
So we're going to do our best to repeat a lot of the things that we said last time, because I don't regret my story choices, only their outcomes. Let's... Already spoke.
Unless you have value.
Astral Prism.
An adventure has brought you to this
Yes.
point, isn't it? I felt Shadowheart's presence in your mind.
Why do you want it?
Whispered this. We learned all we could.
And then Shar asked you to do this, and she says no.
Trails off, holding your gaze with a dark, hungry look.
Somehow I'm not sure that you should see it.
Then this will humor me with a little negotiation.
Yeah,
Perhaps we
you
can
move to negotiate.
the artifact for your life. And perhaps even my support in the battles yet to come against the Absolute.
Okay, so we'll go for persuasion. Canonically, I'm going to say that we did get this already, but... Wait, Scroll of Charm Person? Sure, why the hell not? Yay! So we got this last time as well.
My interest is defeating the Absolute. It's Shadowheart. Surrender her to me. She has much to answer for.
And we can't because Shadowheart has died.
She was mine to deal with. You robbed me of that. I suppose dealing with you will have to suffice.
Okay, time out, lady. Let's just switch to anybody else. So what we're going to do is we're going to conjure up our magic club. We're going to do a couple things as rapidly as we can, which we can't do anything. Apparently Jaheira is the only person not in this conversation right now. Let's do her... Hold on, can I save it? Okay, hopefully we can be saved from here and then go forward. Do her stick. And then maybe we'll have her come up here. And the Woodwode can come over here. And Jaheira herself can... Oh gosh, I don't know. We might have to recast...
Don't test me. Back up.
We might have to recast that... What's it called? Yeah, we're gonna probably just wait here then. Her stick is only good for 10 turns, so we'll just get that back up. Alright. Killing me will achieve nothing. And shit, let's go for it. Oh, you guys!
Perhaps I am being ungrateful. You spared me having to look upon that whelp Shadowheart's face again. Very well. You may go freely, and count upon Lady Shah's warriors when the final battle is met.
Those who cling to light
Okay.
are destined to lose it.
Wait, hold on. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, so here we are. We're back after a couple more attempts just to see if that fight was possible. It's not. Now that we've made friends with the Sharans, we're gonna maybe talk with them a little bit and then go on our way. Let's bring... See, I don't want to, like, mess this up, Piconia, but do you have any other dialogue for us?
Linger if you wish, but there is little else to be said until the Absolute's armies launch their final assault. We shall be ready.
I doubt anybody else here is going to have anything of value to say, but let's just talk to them.
Show respect, or we shall show you steel.
We also get to see their designs, though.
Many seek the Dark Lady's embrace, but few have what it truly takes.
All right, maybe we won't talk with each and every one of them. Just don't...
Must be connected to the offerings on the altar.
What now? I just wanted the diamond. I'm not here to mess with your stuff, guys. Treasured in light, lost in dark. The stone disc moved? Do I care about that? Let's go talk with the person guarding this door.
This is a holy place. You would be wise to show respect.
I'm just gonna go. I feel like that's not even being marked as red. I might even be able to lockpick that and go back there. We're guests here. I have it on good authority that they can absolutely kick the crap out of me, so we're just gonna go. It's fine. This brings us back to the quest that we were working in the last episode, and I mentioned at the top of this episode that I had a new thought. Do we think it's possible that the Mystic is Thrumbo, the zombie that we've been looking at? This is not something that occurred to me at any point in the last episode, but one of the advantages to going back and looking at these episodes again in detail as we go through the editing is he fits the description. I was thinking the last episode, man, this Mystic looks awfully dead. Withered skin, tightly pressed against the bones, no nose, I thought that maybe as a necromancer or a necromancer adjacent individual, that maybe that was just an aesthetic choice that he decided to go with. But what if that's Thrumbo living in a mansion, an abandoned house, right next to the ocean? Right next to the docks, by the way. Like, he actually completely fits that bill. So what I want to do is I want to go back to the mansion here. I want to go in there and I want to search the rest of the house. The only thing I can say is that if this idea proves to be correct, I promise, I did not look this up. I was just looking at him and then comparing in my head the notes of what we knew that we were looking for and being like, well, wait a second, what if this guy's just pretending to be his own boss?
Stringy hair in your face.
Is that why you keep your head shaved? I assumed it was a custom of some sort.
Oh, no. Most warriors of Rashiman wear long battle braids, weighed down with stone. Minsk can show you when next we camp.
Thank you, but I'm more wizard than warrior. Not sure my scalp would stand up to such a plaiting.
Plaiting? I don't think I would have ever pronounced it that way. Let's just down this potion of invisibility.
This calls for careful footwork.
And let's see if we can look around the top floor of this place. I want to see if we find any dead seers, mystics, whatever. There's a rusty dagger, a red carmine mask, and a secret back door, a little chamber back here. I'm not even about stealing the stuff, although, I mean, I kind of am.
That portrait, it's been warded with necrotic magic.
What does that mean to us? Thrumbo's note. Okay. How long are we invisible for? Oh, we're only invisible for one more round. Hold on. Close the door. Wow. Okay. We got the door closed just in time. We're going to look in the chest. Written exercises. A series of writing exercises outlined by Thrumbo addressed to my brothers. Beneath the exercises, several misguided attempts to write letters of the alphabet, none successful. Alright, let's read his note, and then we're going to find our way out of here. Thrumbo's note. Today's abuse was the final straw. We're out of here. Carrion's reach extends only so far. Gather whatever money you can scrape together and give it to me. I'm going to buy a small boat and we're going to row to freedom. Spread out and hide until tomorrow night and then meet me at the usual spot on the beach. And for the love of Mask, make sure Carrion doesn't see this note. Maybe swallow it.
Beneath the canvas.
We found a hidden note from Thrumbo addressed to his fellow zombie servants. He plans to buy a boat and row them all to freedom. They're to meet at the beach. I mean, sure, that's great, but we can look around for a beach, but are we just going to happen to be there at the same time that he is? I guess we'll go take a look. As far as getting out of here, we're just going to use our old friend, the waypoint system. There we go. We did it. We're out. Okay, here we are on the beach to the south of the Garlow's house. I guess we'll add that to wares. A plea to Gortash. Judging by its many wrinkles, this note has been crumpled, unfolded, and recrumpled countless times. Dearest Lord Gortash, your almightiness, resplendent master of Baldur's Gate, Thanks to a punishment most just, I have come to know the error of my ways and the wrongness of my heart. I hereby renounce my previous alliances and vow my undying loyalty and service. As proof of my good faith, I am willing to offer you the names and locations of all gnomes I know who conspire against you. In your infinite wisdom and grace, I am certain you would reunite me with my husband Spanner in exchange. With grave sincerity, Phoenix Lubbins. I think we have a sense of what happened to everybody that Phoenix Lubbins knew at that point, and it wasn't because Lord Gortash was disappointed with her offering. Journal of a Gondian Worker. Artifice can outdo magic given the right smith and a good set of raw materials. I've carried these words with me all my life, but now I'm beginning to question whether it's really true. Whatever they're doing here with all the steel, it's not for good. Forgive me, Gond, but if we ever get out of here alive, I don't think I'll ever touch an anvil again. It can't possibly be that close, but there is a little dock there. That's the beach, I guess. I don't feel like it's much of a beach. It's really more of like a quay wall or whatever, but let's go straight south from here. Wait, this is red. I'm gonna get in trouble if we take this. And there's a little hole back there. Look at that. I don't know why I'm doing this when it's red, but I don't know. Nobody came up and stopped me. There's a little...
Being arrested for theft. If you have a defense, make it now.
Try to talk your way out of it. I'm not paying this person $3,600 for gold that was buried in the beach. Why bother yourself over a missing item or two? You're a busy individual. We're not going to get away with this. Oh, we might.
They believe you. For now. But something tells you they won't be so receptive to your charms again.
Okay. I'm going to stop messing around now. Whose property was this? Who reported the theft?
Not everyone subscribes to what is mine is yours, it seems.
I nudged your box, sir. Alright, are we allowed to Corvus in there? This brings us to Philgrave's mansion basement, where we have ominous torches, a mummy's memories. This seems like exactly the sort of place where Thrumbo might hang out. Or is this... Hold on. Let me go back out. This is just the basement of the building where the Mystic lives. So, I mean, we could go in there and poke around, but I don't know that we're gonna... Well, then again, it perfectly matches the description of being a house that's by the docks. Let's look around. I don't think that Corvus can do very much in here. Like, he can't take and he can't read. Unfortunately, Liz has been very irresponsible in teaching Corvus basic literacy. And then there's a ladder, but I don't think that Corvus can, like, traverse ladders by himself. No. So I would want to get down to the basement from here. There is a little dark space back here. And a ladder. How would you get back there? I wonder if there's a hidden switch or something. Alyssa climbed right over his table.
You carry strange tidings.
We'll just have Alyssa go up here. Not go further upstairs, which is where we might get into trouble.
Come closer.
And there is a little space back here. I missed this before. This brings us to Iron Ladder. We had Corvus scope this area out. We know that there's nobody down here to worry about. A mummy's memories. Some mortals might wonder why a mummy lord would abandon a subterranean crypt where he's abided for several human lifetimes, safely conducting delicate experiments into the very nature of life and its so-called opposite, death, and trade all that for a perilous existence in a ramshackle waterfront house in the cesspit of Baldur's Gate. Some mortals might be morons. An entity of erudition and taste must naturally have a keen appreciation for what the surface world has to offer, the lilt of music and the lyricism of poetry, the cry of seagulls over Grey Harbor at sunset, the touch of a soft, non-decayed hand. You don't need a nose to savor a fine wine. All of these things and more I have earned through my dedication to esoteric studies, but with all of these things, as well as rare alchemy ingredients, alembics and athanors cost money, a lot of it. Thus, my new career as a high-priced and exclusive mystic consultant to the wealthy of the Upper City, I have needs and they will not be denied.
A secret lair in the Undercity ruins. What was Carrion doing there?
Is that what you picked up? Alyssa, from how? What I read there is, here's the reason why I moved to this area, and she seems to have discerned that this is evidence of his other apartment underneath the city. Starting from the first thing, we met Mr. Carrion, who promised to reward us if we bring back the body of one of his zombie servants, Thrumbo. He believes Thrumbo will still be somewhere in the lower city, so we're in the correct part of the world. We agreed to bring Thrumbo's body back to Mr. Carrion. He told us that Thrumbo has 3 other zombie companions. If we find them, they might be able to tell us where Thrumbo went. So it's not a requirement, but they can point us in the right direction. We found the zombie Sacrum. He told us that Thrumbo was looking for an abandoned house for them to hide in. Thrumbo told him that wardrobes are good hiding places. I don't remember that particular part of the clue. The part where wardrobes are a good hiding place, that's interesting.
I don't think you're the sort of company I ought to be keeping.
I read about you on the privy, didn't I? Likes of you just make it hard on the likes of me.
Everybody's still really mad at Alyssa because they read that slander in the Baldur's Mouth Gazette. And again, not really a beach, more of like a cobbled stone area. There is a boat here, though. Well, maybe there's somebody in here. Did we look in here? To One Eye. I don't know who you are, but I know we've had a friend in common, a dear friend who I haven't heard from in a while. Last time we spoke, she said she was meeting you, and she hasn't been seen since. I'm not trying to accuse you of anything, but I am worried. If you know anything about her whereabouts, please come find me. I'll be at the Water Queen's house. Well, this is presumably where the submarine pilot lived. And if that's correct, they're not here now. Vanayan's house. There's a big wardrobe.
Leave me be. What are you doing in here?
The man's stench is unmistakable. Death, decay, despair. This must be Thrumbo, the runaway mystic Carrion was so eager for you to retrieve.
This is my spot. Go on, find your own.
Wow. You guys, that is for sure the closest that I've come to looking something up. Thank you all for your patience. I came to find you. Mr. Carrion was very keen that I bring you home, which is true. Mr. Carrion's told me all about you. Feels a lot more menacing. But this seems to be a declaration of intent, which I don't want to do. Mr. Carrion's told me all about you.
Mystic. Carrion. You're working for him? Oh no. No. I knew he wouldn't let us leave in peace. You don't have to help him. He's the one you should be after, not me.
Why?
You've met him. How can you need more justification than that? He murdered me. Murdered my friends. Snatched us right up from the dockside and made us these things. Monsters. Fit for gutting and grinding and desecrating the dead. He constantly abuses us. Makes us do the worst things you can imagine. There used to be 5 of us. My friend Talus, he couldn't take it anymore. One day, I saw him drive a coffin nail right through Carrion's skull. Then another, and another. We thought he had done it. Freed us all. Then when dawn came, Talus seized up suddenly like something had got a grip of him. We ran to help, but he just exploded. I got so much blood and pulp in my eyes. When I look back, Carrion was just stood there, completely unharmed.
I'm already inclined to help him. He's given me way more than I needed in order to say I'd rather help you. Do you know how Carrion brought himself back?
If I knew that, I'd have tried to kill him myself. I know this is gonna sound strange, but I've been watching him, trying to figure it out, and I think he's a mummy lord.
We found confirmation of that in his basement. And a mummy lord is...
It's an ancient, evil being who refused to die. Who cannot die. I used to hear about them in stories, and I can't think of another explanation. After Talus died, Carrion blindfolded me and took me into a strange place. A foul and ancient place. Somewhere the living wouldn't dare to tread. Down there, he showed me a jar. Said it contained the secret to eternal life. And if I behaved, he would share it with me. I think it was his heart. I'm not stupid. I know what he did to my friend. Gods, how I'd love to smash that bastard jar. That's how you kill mummy lords, you know.
So, there's a problem. There's another reason why we want to work with Carrion. He said that he would help the artist, Oscar, who is currently locked in sort of a death coma and has a ghost in a painting that's assaulting him and stuff. If we kill Carrion, I don't know how we proceed with that quest. This could be an either or. I don't currently have any ideas on how we might do both of them. What I have to decide then is, am I willing to sacrifice the artist and the relationship that he has with his wife, these newlyweds, in order to help out this zombie and his 3 friends who have already lost their lives? And the answer is yes, because if I'm to understand what happened here, Carrion gave Oscar some specific instructions on how to protect himself, and Oscar didn't follow them. I don't think that's actually true. It's just what Carrion said. I think Carrion specifically engineered a disastrous situation so that he could profit off of it, taking the first money that he got from Oscar, and then also profiting off of providing a cure to the situation that he intentionally precipitated. I think that's what Carrion did. At the same time, Oscar did contact Carrion first. Oscar did initiate this. According to what Thrumbo is saying, is that he and his friends were murdered without any consent at all. I don't want any of these people to suffer. However, if we don't deal with Carrion, if we work with him to help out Oscar the painter, then he's just going to find more victims further on down the line, including the victim standing right in front of us. So we kind of... When I say that we kind of have to do this, I mean, to the extent that we want to consider what is the best way to do the most good, it is to stop Carrion. And if Oscar has to be a victim of that, at least he will be the last victim. That feels real bad, but it's the best I've got. I will find and destroy the jar. Where should I start?
I'm not sure, but in the house, beneath Carrion's salon, there's a chamber. He never lets anyone down there, so it must be hiding something important. Perhaps it's there. But be careful. If you return to Carrion, he'll know you spoke to me. Make sure he doesn't see or smell you. He'll turn you into one of us, and he'll know I sent you. I don't want to die like Talus did. I want to live. Well, you know what I mean.
And I want to help him do that.
This is still the safest place to
Yeah, no,
it's
we're...
just bad luck I was discovered. I must be patient. My brothers need me.
Okay, let's leave. Let's close the door on our way out. And I am quite accidentally way ahead of him because we know that where we're supposed to go next is into the sewers. So let's come out here. Wait, am I going to get in trouble if I close the door now? Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to leave that door open. That leads to the barrack cells. This leads to the back end of Condalhaller's tombs, which I do not want to do right now. That was a dead end. This is where the Thieves Guild is. We've searched all in this area as far as I know. Now, there's a wall here. This is Nine Fingers' office. There's what appears to be a hidden wall, and then like an escape plan, a little escape route, escape tunnel, which is cool and also something that I don't have access to and doesn't really seem where What's-His-Face would be living. And then whatever's up here. Okay, so let's go north and then... Okay, multiple levers, always a good sign that you're on the path to something. And this appears to be... I'm sure there's a name for this. I would call it like a cable car, except it's obviously not a car. And it looks like we can go back to an area that I've previously been, or forward to a place that I haven't. So we're going to go more north. Hi, Lorna.
Ah, a friendly face at last. Are you going to the party as well?
What do you want to bet that she was a guest at What's-His-Face's? The vampire lord guy. I very much doubt you're going where I'm going. True, but I think that list is occasionally funny. Which party is that? I get so many invitations.
I don't know if I should say. It's very exclusive. Oh, go on then, I'll tell you. It's an underground party at a place called The Palace. My date's supposed to meet me here, but there's no sign of him. You haven't seen him, have you? Pale, skinny, extremely piercing eyes.
The individual descriptions could refer to many things, but taken together, she can only be referring to something vampiric in nature.
It's funny. He was ever so keen for me to come. He didn't seem the type to cancel.
I went to that party. They were all having steaks. It turned out to be a really dead affair. Pun number 3. Your date was a vampire. Perhaps he lost his appetite, Wiz. It's a little too funny. You had a very lucky escape. Your date was a vampire.
A vampire? No, he wasn't. Was he? But then, why am I still here? He could have had me by the neck any time he liked.
Well, but I'm not wondering. She was being saved for the... You know, you guys know, the whole thing that Cazador was going to do. Are you sure he didn't try?
He did seem quite interested in my collarbones. I thought that was just his thing, if you catch my drift. You know what? I might give this party a miss. Plenty more fish in the Chionthar, as they say. If you see him, don't tell him I was here. Just tell him I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. I'm sure he'll understand.
I really just wanted a reaction shot from Alyssa of just the one eyebrow. Damp missing poster. Let's take a quick look at this. Chessa, reward offered for any information on beloved child, gratefully received at Gur encampment in Worms Crossing. Faded missing poster. There we go. Cass, reward offered for any information on beloved child, gratefully received at Gur encampment in Worms Crossing. I am not happy about the way that things went down in Cazador's, and also I don't know of another way. Wait, curled child missing poster. I don't think that I want to read through all the missing children. Now the 4th child to go missing, any and all information desired. Yeah, this was their pickup point. Well, we did have an indication that they were... Not an indication. We saw that they were shepherding people in through the sewers. And I remember saying, I don't think that they are bringing people out through the sewers. There is a little area to the north here. Can I get there from here? If we go to the west, we have a little bit of a dead end. Now, this is back where we started. If we take it one more stop back, it brings us here, but it's just next to the city sewers. Like, I don't know that that's of benefit to us. On the other hand, if we get out here, then we can, yeah, work our way up to what might be a new area, which is this way.
My way.
Undercity Ruins. Wow, we found a new waypoint down here. Voiceless Penitent Bereski. Okay, let's see what this is about. I'm a little concerned. There haven't been a lot of people that we've met down in the sewer that were interested in good conversation, and the Voiceless least of all.
The penitent looks at you silently, expectantly.
Maybe he's got some sort of sign language or other way. I mean, I'm assuming that it's very literally not talking. Who are you?
The penitent doesn't respond, holding your gaze almost unblinkingly with his.
It's amazing he avoided rolling his eyes. I'll ask if he's okay.
The penitent doesn't respond, holding your gaze almost unblinkingly with his.
Okay. You're running a shop? Do we get a nod at least?
The penitent doesn't respond.
Nope.
Holding your gaze almost, there is the slightest flicker of acknowledgement in his eyes.
Alright, let's just take a look to make sure that this functions the way that I think it does. If Alyssa wants to make this purchase,
Looks at you silent. There's the...
that armor is going to be 2,100. If we back out, and then we have Will interact with this guy...
The penitent looks at you silently. There's the
That same armor is 1,500. That's why I go get Will. It's not a small difference. Let's barter. We're going to add all of our wares.
Penitent blinks.
And now, let's just send that armor direct over to Halsin. Lockpicking impossible. Oh no. Why? Why? No! I thought we were onto something. And then, I guess we could walk up here. It definitely looks like there's going to be more back here, and yet, unless we get a perception roll, can't do much there. Grimlark verse 2. Hold on. This seems... Okay, hold on. Ancient Lair seems like the sort of thing that we're looking for. Yes! We found it! Okay, it wasn't behind the big door.
Here goes nothing.
Those who draw breath embrace... Those who draw breath embrace death. An instruction these corpses took literally. Okay, so let's assume that if we walk in here, we die. Jaheira has immunity to poison, so if it's a poison thing, she'd be okay. I think here's what we're going to do. I think we're going to separate out Jaheira. No, I think we're going to separate out Corvus. Sorry, Corvus. But we need... Oh, wait, do we have Citizen Snips? Maybe he could go. Raven, you go in, but only you. Just a lot of treasure in here. Greater Zombie with 0 of 74 hit points. So these guys definitely pop back up, yeah? The question is, what brings them up? What makes that happen? I don't see a switch or an obvious spell point. We do have Breaching Pike Staff. And then there's some written documents over here that we cannot read. So I think part 2 of our plan comes in now. We're going to have Jaheira. I'm going to save it up here real quick.
No rest. Be you wicked or wise.
I think we are very purpose-oriented. Maybe we don't screw around with anything other than the thing that we're looking for. An ancient stone, cold and damp to the touch, the letters carved on its surface appear to have been drawn by a clumsy and laborious hand. Where is he? Where is he? Promised life, eternal life, glory, riches, where is he? The other item here, an ancient stone, cold and damp to the touch. Though the letters carved on it are archaic in form, it is recognizable as the common tongue. The high priest continues to sicken. In spite of the Chirurgeon's ministrations, I fear each breath might be his last, but with every exaltation he whispers to me of a means by which he might live on to walk among us still. He does not speak of the method, but I am sure it is a reliable one. Has he not performed such miracles for others in the name of our necromantic purpose? Has he not adorned himself with the jewels of his powers over death? Were he to succeed, what wealth, what future fortune, further fortune, might he draw to our glorious worship? He even offers me, a mere acolyte, the honor of sharing this golden immortality with him. I dare not refuse. I cannot afford to. So there's chest... Oh, the crawling claw. Like, you just know that everything in here is going to spool up. Breaching pike staff seems really important, but what I'm not seeing is jar with heart. Is this like some sort of Indiana Jones test where we're looking for the correct item? Treasure crates are incredibly obvious. Then we've got multiple opulent chests. Let's look in the vases first. Okay, so we touched something, and everything came to life. Jaheira is now in combat, but she gets to go first. And they lock the door. Hold on. Okay. Alyssa's not in combat. Wait, what is everybody upset about? Spell rot. Unless you're undead, each time you cast a spell, you receive 2 to 12 necrotic damage per spell level. Well, that's a bummer. Now, as soon as she opens that door, everybody in this room should join the combat, and they'll probably join late into the whole affair. Quoth also got sick. And that stone wall is locked. So if we can get Alyssa over there, but we're not going to escape this without doing the whole thing. Everybody is spell rotted, except, interestingly, Jaheira. And do we have any access to... No, we don't. Well, no, she has aid right there. Or greater restoration. Negate any charm, petrification, stun, or curse afflicting it. So, theoretically, if she has any level 5 spell slots available to her, which she does not, we can clear the curse. So, here's Jaheira. We do have one wild shape charge. I'm thinking that we go into Panther mode and turn invisible. Now, I don't know that she can turn invisible until next round. That is her action, yeah. So, I actually don't have a lot of other options. How do we limit the number of attacks that she takes this round? Step 1 is to press herself against the wall, but then she's going to get swarmed and infinite attacks of opportunities. Step 2 is I think that we bring everybody else into this fight. So, I mean, we start with Alyssa. And is Alyssa wearing her best stuff? Yeah, she's in her her fighting stuff. Okay, just put that out. Hopefully we can get over here. Nope. Okay, Alyssa's in the fight, but fortunately she joins early.
Justice walks on 4 feet and sleeps in my...
Oh, Minsk is just... I forgot to hide with Minsk, so then that happened. And now Will is in the combat as well, and Will goes so late. Okay, so here we go. Jaheira, let's bring you up here. And then your bonus action is really nothing, so we're just going to end turn. Here's Alyssa. It's really hoping not to get spotted. There's a couple guys over here. Do we have any sort of like a ensnaring strike ranged? Yeah, Ancient Service is level 8. This seems like a good place to start. Although, wait a second. The Crawling Claw is only 4 hit points. Let's do an arrow of many targets. They're really good against swarms. Okay, that's 2 Crawling Claws down. Now we're gonna do a ensnaring range strike against Ancient Servant. Try to lock that guy down. Wait, did that... Wait, did shooting a spell arrow count? I'm so sorry. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's the thing. Did we get it on both attacks? Did the arrow of many targets affect? I don't think so. Yeah, so any magic effect, unless I'm overlooking it. Right. That's because that is a spell. I apologize. That wasn't a special arrow. That was a spell. Got it. All right. And then what? Do we keep Alyssa in here? There's not a lot of guys nearby. And that guy did get entangled, right? I think. Yeah, that guy's ensnared. I feel like we're okay to keep Alyssa in here. Here comes Minsk. So, Minsk, as we know, likes to be surrounded by enemies, but he's not bad with a ranged weapon. Let's bring him over here. Very high dexterity, this one. Let's say no harm at all in putting some extra shots in this guy. Can we do volley? Not enough movement, but we only need to hit right there. Okay, awesome. So these guys are hurting, and he does get one more shot. Is that it? I think it is. Yes. Technically has a bonus, but we want to be very careful about not doing spells right now. Quoth, why don't you just choke up... No, actually, why don't we have you take up some space right over here? Just anything to limit the number of guys that... Yeah, so Quoth served his purpose. He took a hit. Boy, if only we had some sort of a flame-based area effect attack. Something that would really bother zombies. If only we had something like that around. Corvus. Let's do cunning action dash. That gives him a lot of movement. What's your range on Bad Omen? It's... about 9 meters or so. I don't think that we can get to that guy. We might get to this guy. We could definitely get to this guy. Yeah, let's bring Corvus here. And we're going to go for Bad Omen on this guy. Does that hurt Corvus, by the way? Does that count? No, it didn't. It was not that I can see. And then Will. Will is really not in a good way if he can't cast any spells at all. That doesn't mean that he gets to hang out outside. Let's go with Dash.
Making my move.
Jahir is surrounded. Can we go invisible? Okay, that really messes them up. Now, if we cast another spell, take an action or take damage, does jumping count as an action here? I hope not. Not enough movement. But we can jump here. Okay, but still, turning invisible got rid of all of the attacks of opportunity to get away. And now we're going to come down here. So now we're all with the friends. Everybody's back together. Alyssa. Probably just a couple shots into this guy. Now, let's learn a little bit about these guys. Are they... Yeah, they don't like fire. And interestingly, they don't care about radiant damage at all. I feel pretty good about a fire arrow on this guy. Wait, but I hope that this does not qualify as a spell. Let's find out. She's got 58 hit points. Sneak attack. That works. And hopefully another 6 points of damage. 21 will get it done. Do we want... I don't think that poison works on these guys, but we could do like a diluted potion of sharpness or something. Yeah, why not? Oh, I've only got 2 of these. Really? In the whole world or just on her? I've got 8 on Jaheira. Yeah, we're going to coat weapon. And that'll be for next time. Minsk. So, we killed the person that Minsk was going to be the happiest trying to hit. Let's bring Minsk up here. And then we're going to do another volley. Because why wouldn't we? Look at all these guys. That's a really good attack, and he just gets to do that. Yeah, let's do Horde Breaker. We will hit those guys, I hope. And that's his turn, I think. Or Horde Breaker follow-up. Oh, I can't quite get around that. But can you just move slightly over here? Yes. Okay. I like Minsk's build a lot. Okay, that crawling claw died. We don't want to fly with Corvus. He tends to spread darkness, and that's really annoying for everybody that isn't him or Will. So let's have him come up here. And I think we're going to go for IPEC. Good. And now for a follow-up... Well, this guy doesn't have eyes, does he? We're just going to do a regular peck. Okay, 1 blinded zombie and 1 dead hand. Here's Will. Will, let's do... I think at this point we're not going to do anything else. Doing necrotic damage to them is dumb. And challenge to duel doesn't help us out, and weakening strike isn't going to be that great. Let's just do a regular attack. I mean, but I'm going to say don't do it. Like, it doesn't feel worth it. The necrotic damage. Yeah, immune to necrotic damage. And then we can do the follow-up attack. Okay, not a bad round for Will. 3 hits. I have a feeling we're getting real lucky on those saves. I don't know what Dreadful Glare is. All right, I like Minsk's position for doing a whirlwind attack. And he does not, in fact, hit his allies. So this is great. Let's do this. And can we follow it up with another whirlwind attack? And that's probably his whole... No, we still have an offhand attack. God damn, Minsk. And that's his turn. Jaheira. So Jaheira does get to turn invisible again as an action. But I do feel like we'd rather... We've got Bite. I promise I keep forgetting this about her, that I thought that she had a knockdown attack. Pounce. Leap at a target to bite it and knock it prone. We'll go for that, 50%.
Poking, prodding, trying things out.
Okay, on her next round, hypothetically, she can do the bite attack or whatever. For her bonus. Yeah, why don't we back off? We don't have to hang out up there. Alyssa, so wait, who gets to go next? This guy? Let's see if we can make him not go next. Done. And now, this zombie just got knocked down. So it's a solid hit. I think we'll go for it. This is our blinded zombie friend. There's Corvus, and he is done. I do think that we're going to move him right here, because again, if somebody has to take damage, we'd rather have it be our bird than our ranger. Will, can you get over here? Can you get over here? Okay, Will, let's go attack Ancient Servant. And then the follow-up. Okay, not as high on damage, but still took down by half. Not bad. Oof. Jaheira, let's go for Pounce again. And now we don't want to back off. We'll just wait. Alyssa, I like taking down Greater Zombie so that Jaheira doesn't take too much more damage. And then if I shoot a fire arrow at either of these guys, we're going to hit our friends. So instead, we'll just do a regular shot here and hopefully get the sneak attack bonus. And I think we're going to risk moving her up. I feel like this is a safe position where she's not going to take a lot of incoming damage. Minsk. So Minsk does have that Horde Breaker. Can we get over here? But I don't want to spend a bonus action doing that. Yeah, this is good. Okay, Horde Breaker. Let's do Horde Breaker melee. And then we're going to do the follow-up. And then we've got another attack where we can do Whirlwind attack. Can we do another Horde Breaker, or is that's one per turn? That's only once per turn. All right, then let's do a regular attack here. And that's everything. Yeah, Minsk gets like a minimum of 3 attacks every turn, and there might be ways to spread it out in a more intelligent way that I haven't worked out yet. That is him. This guy is no longer blinded, or maybe that's not the guy I was thinking of. So let's see if we can peck his eyes. And then a regular beak attack. Jaheira, hit this guy. Does he got a third attack? Okay, third attack is cool. Okay, we got there. Huzzah! So, that went very differently than I thought. Based on the inscription on the outside, I thought, oh, there's going to be some sort of like a cloud kill, and then the zombie's going to come up to life. I thought it was going to be horrible noxious gas fills the room, and also the zombies don't take damage from that, so it would be like a timed thing, and the reason that I sent Jaheira in is that she's immune to poison. Didn't work out that way.
I'll need to rest soon.
Oh, but Alyssa, we have so much ahead of us. Not really, but... No! Wow, you guys, we actually failed a lockpicking check. That's been a minute. Fortunately, we've brought a lot of thieves' tools. Much better. Ta-da!
I've seen enough necromantic rituals for one little life.
Okay, we're gonna go in here then and talk to the dead half-elf.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Who are you?
Beggar, vagrant, scum. My name was Taran.
Where are you from?
Tumble down. Long ago. No home now.
How did you get here?
Carrion offered shelter, safety. I was desperate.
Who killed you?
Carrion.
And since we know who Carrion is, why didn't he kill you straight away?
A ritual. Jars hidden in flesh. I failed. Died too quickly.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
So, recasting that ability does count as a spell, and she took 25 points of damage off that. Jar of Mystic Carrion's Brain. Well, I'm not going to get more cursed, am I?
This jar feels like death itself. A sure sign of necromancy at work.
I'm going to look into the
Good here.
dead elf. Also, I just really like that his portrait matches the character model. It's all of these, like, just little details. Okay, we've got a ladder that presumably leads out of this whole area, and that'd be great. So why don't we wander around this place and do all of our looting? And let me read whatever it was that we just picked up, because this was actually a tablet. The upper part of this tablet describes the necromantic ritual spells employed to inhere potions of a creature's spirit within its extracted organs, and then sealing these spirit-infused organs inside funerary urns and hiding them to preserve the life force contained therein. The bottom of the stone is crossed by a scratching of crooked letters that decipher as follows.
A brilliant idea, but not an idea of genius such as the concept it inspires in me. Where better to hide such precious treasure than inside the animated body of a guardian who doesn't even know it's there?
Wait, what does that mean to me? Because he said the same thing. The guy that we just interrogated said jars hidden inside of bodies. So we found that dude's brain. That's not enough, is it? The zombies. Thrumbo. I bet the part is inside of Thrumbo. That's why he didn't kill Thrumbo when the other guy exploded. I think that the jar is inside Thrumbo himself. And that we've got the brain, because Thrumbo specifically said something about the heart.
And inside a zombie. It's almost poetic.
Yep. sorry, that's what Alyssa just said. Okay, we have looted out everything that I can find in this area. Let's take the ladder up and see where this comes out. Apparently the cask of Amontillado. Oh, lever. And there's our out. Okay. Hello, sir. Surprised to see me?
You came back. Please, tell me you found a way to destroy Mystic Carrion.
I know where Carrion keeps his canoptic jar. It's inside your chest. Let's start with that. That's really our top story.
What? His rotten heart was inside of me this whole time. Get it out. I have to get it out.
That was easier than I thought it was going to be.
That slimy bastard. He hid it in me the whole time. Please, take that foul thing and grind it to dust.
Okay, time out. I don't want to hit him or talk to him. Let's look at our journal because, I mean, I could smash it on the ground or what. We found Mr. Carrion's heart. We must destroy it if we're to kill him for good. He vomited it out. And it's like in a whole jar, too. Some really good, just esophageal control. And then here's the other side of it, that if we do this, then we don't get to help Oscar. At least not that I know of. And then finally, the surprise twist of the episode. Viconia is grateful that we helped her establish her rightful position. Didn't really do that. We can count on Viconia and Lady Shar's faithful in the fight to come. It's not a bad group of people, if you take a look. It's a real unlikely alliance that we've cobbled together, but it feels a lot better than it did even like 4 or 5 episodes ago. I kind of want to go talk with the Mystic. I do think that we need to take a short rest before then.
You carry strange tidings. Hush, spirits. I sense it too. Our guest brings with her the stench of Thrumbo's disobedience. Hand his carcass to me. Quickly.
I found the jar hidden in Thrumbo's corpse. The reason I'm talking to him is that I'm hoping that we can negotiate a fix for Oscar as well. I think it's time to renegotiate. I found this jar hidden in Thrumbo's corpse, which is technically true because he is a corpse.
This is your preferred course? To change the terms of our arrangement now that you feel you have the upper hand?
I don't want a handful of gold. The Torch of Revocation is plenty. What the hell's the Torch of Revocation? So I don't know what that is. This has not come up in conversation. Is this the thing we need for Oscar? I'm going to assume this is what we need for Oscar.
Gratitude is a lesson some never learn. You were wise not to make me teach you. The torch will be more than enough to free your little painter friend of his unwanted occupier. Use it to destroy the painting of his self-destructive lover, and her spirit will be forced to vacate his body. With that, my debt to you is settled. Should you need any further consultations, you will, of course, have to pay for them.
I can't believe that worked. It is a distinct experience in this game relative to a lot of others that I will do a whole bunch of prep for the combat that I'm certain is about to happen. and then doesn't, because we wind up having a conversation negotiating our way through it, and it just immediately passes and it's perfectly fine. And then I don't do any preparation at all and cross some invisible boundary, and suddenly we're in a crisis fight, scrabble for our lives. Okay, not surprised at this. Alyssa, can you jump up here? And then we'll do our best. Gosh, I kind of want to use an arrow of undead, but I don't think that I got any more of those, did I? I've only got 3 left. I really want to hold on to them for enemies that are a little bit more impactful. Although... Okay, Fire Myrmidon is further outside than I'd like, but not so far outside that he can't be of assistance. We just need to move Halsin out of the way first. Halsin, if we move you back here, do you have like a range shot that you can take? His bow sucks. He's really not built for this. Okay, Myrmidon. Now we'll... Oof. Okay, hold on. Let's have Miz. Miz, you can't jump up here, right? Yeah, no. Alyssa has the craziest jump in the game. Like, kind of broken. Do I want to have him fly? It's only good until a long rest, but I feel like we're pretty close to that. Let's not worry about it for now. Let's have him... We'll do a dash. I'm going to try to get all the way up here. And apparently activate every other poltergeist in the place. Okay, he can get all the way up here. I'll take it. And then I guess that he can also do a dash. And get right up in this guy. But that's all of his actions, so he managed to cross a lot of ground, but not do anything with it. I will again just ask to verify, there's no way to fly without spreading the darkness, because unfortunately, like, I really want him to, like, Corvus to get up here, and also I don't want him to spread a bunch of darkness when he does it. And maybe he can't do it anyway. Alright, let's do cunning action, dash, and come up here. We're gonna have to down a potion of sea invisibility, I think. Will. Probably a dash as well, I'd say. And for him, is it a potion of, I'm gonna take it back. I think I want Halsin to drink it. Logic being that Halsin is almost always going to be frontline, whether he is in owlbear mode or in human mode. Poltergeists are not exactly sure what they want to do this round. Also, it turns out a lot of these guys are downstairs. I was collecting everybody to have the upstairs fight, but... Oh gosh. As they methodically turn invisible and then spend 90 seconds each deciding what they want to do. Halsin. Let's have Halsin do the drink invisibility potion. Which I'm still misspelling. Is it only a scroll now? Okay. Makes me all the happier that I have it, because now that's an action instead of a bonus action. Is there anything we can do with this bonus action? I think we can shapeshift him, which I was planning to do anyway. So, sure, let's have him be our tank. Or Myrmidon. He's a really good Myrmidon. What, if anything, are these guys weak to? Almost nothing, but they do respect force damage. Force and psychic. Do any of these guys do force or psychic damage? Shredding armor doesn't help us. They're non-physical. How do they feel about electric damage? Pretty good. Okay, then maybe we'll just try to hit this one with a sword. I don't know. I kind of want to have... Yeah, we want to have Halsin in range of all of the poltergeists. That's why we did this. Alright, Alyssa. Good. And I kind of do want to have them all come to me, so I think that we're going to kind of hang out up here. See if they can make their way to us. Although we will take a swipe at these guys. Blooming Cone of Fire. There's nobody around this person, so we'll just do a regular swipe. Also, rather than going downstairs to fight them, our goal should be to get upstairs to use the torch. Which is really where I should have moved Alyssa. Let's try to keep Corvus and Alyssa together. In fact, we can have Corvus... Wait, how do we... Where's the upstairs again? I want to get to this back hallway, and I'm just not sure... Wait, can we not get there from here? That doesn't make any sense. What kind of a layout is this? Wait, hold on. And then this room is sort of the ballroom. Okay, here's some stairs up. There we go. Kind of mad architect would build a house where you have to go downstairs to go upstairs. Azer, sure. And then he's got like a cool overheat ability, but I'm not sure that I can do it right now. I can. All nearby creatures take damage and start burning fiercely. Yeah, the Azers operate a little bit better as lone independent contractors. One of the poltergeists is going. Unless it's this one. Oh, it is this one. So, there was some sort of a haunted candelabrum somewhere, but I don't see it here. So for Will, just do a dash. Come on upstairs. And then how do we go upstairs from here? Like, we want to get, yeah, up to the 3rd floor, which is here? Oh my gosh, I'm not sure that we do want to go upstairs if there's going to be... This would be... If we weren't in turn-based mode, we would just run up there. But if we were going to do this in turn-based mode, it's going to take a really long time. As the poltergeists just constantly chase after us. Okay, Alyssa, let's come on down. Wait, I don't trust you. Okay, good enough. And now we're gonna shoot this one. And then we'll just move over here. Just make sure that these guys have a place to attack. The rest of these guys I don't want to just jump down willy-nilly. They don't have the magic of Featherfall the way that Alyssa does. Okay. Now he can come downstairs. And I think that now we can wild shape. Owlbear's really large, though. Saber-toothed tiger. I kind of want to be saber-toothed tiger. I don't know. I can't decide, which is probably not a good reason to not be anything. Let's be saber-toothed tiger. Oh, I wanted to dash with him. That's why we switched away from him. Let's do... dash. There it is. Let's do dash. Oh, and I accidentally did his action dash, not his bonus action dash, so that's kind of it. We'll stop there. Oh, do make up your mind. Okay. Will. Yeah, this was a great idea to bring Will upstairs until it wasn't. We're gonna do his dash. Will, whatever it takes, friend, to get down here. This is where we want to go. This is a really interesting map with, like, its verticality and stuff, but as with everything in this game, the engine seems to have a little bit of difficulty working out how to get from here to there. And we've blocked Azer off, so we're just gonna end turn for now. And I promise that, like, spacebar, left, right, mouse bumper, when they're thinking about what they want to do, nothing seems to sort of speed them along. Okay, Alyssa. Well, actually, Minsk has some really good, like... Are you serious? I have absolutely locked down this passage. I'm blocking myself out. Let's do... We've got Jugular Strike, and I think that we've probably got a version of Pounce for him as well. Shred Armor, Bite, Bite. Alright, then just Bite then. Okay, and then I really want to move out of the way so that we can bring up Minsk. Because if Minsk can get, like, in here...
Who says smite? That means I must hit you very hard, I think.
And then offhand attack. Is anybody a little bit closer to death? Oh, 4 points. There we go.
Another fight. Let's go.
One down. And we hit this person in the back. That arrow knocked a bit of skin off of Minsk's nose on the way past. It's a little scratch. Who are we? This guy? Yes. Okay, and then move to one side if you would. And I think that we've done... Oh no, he does have another attack. Yeah, Halsin's wild shapes are crazy good. Like, they all get 3 attacks. So, Bad Omen is a guaranteed damage, but I think that I'd rather have the regular Pex. And then we're going to pull back. Withering Touch is going to do 7 to 35 on Halsin. I think I'm not going to react. Yeah, 11 points. I'm glad that I didn't. Because that was basically his bonus hit points.
Forever dauntless.
And this is going to be a great opportunity to do a little bit of Arcane... Eldritch Blast. Now, let's get upstairs. It's going to be way faster than trying to do it turn-based. By the way, we've never talked to the Widow again. Maybe just let her know what's up.
Did you find anything in Oscar's atelier?
Some beautiful pieces of art. Oscar is truly talented, and I'll tell you why. I don't see any benefit at all to talking about a portrait of his former lover, since he was very clearly, he's broken it off with her. We found his letters. This was all in the last episode. He's not with her anymore. She's died and her spirit has been haunting him. Why do we want to poison this relationship with this lady by making her think that he was still pining after her? And then a letter from somebody named Mystic Carrion, I think that we just don't broach that, because then it's only going to add to more questions on, oh, really? Why was he, isn't he a famous necromancer? Why would he be involved with my husband? Like, we can just not even have those conversations. Oscar is truly talented.
Of course. My husband is a visionary. But did you find anything that might help him?
Okay, why don't we talk about Mystic Carrion? Because it's not true nothing of use, and I don't want to just walk away. Mystic Carrion.
Oh, not him. Carrion calls himself a spirit medium. His morbid services are something of a fad among the nobility. From what I've heard, it's invitation only. He has a mansion down near the water, a forsaken place, dank and decayed as he is. You must find Mystic Carrion. If he's responsible for this mess, he can bloody well clean it up.
Oh, lady, do I have good news for you. We should have talked to her a long time ago. I completely forgot to check in with her on our way through. How do we get upstairs? Where's the upstairs? Here it is. Hey everyone, it turns out that this upcoming storyline in Baldur's Gate 3 results in some fairly sobering conversations about self-harm that get a lot more grounded in real world than most of the other quest lines. this is a fun fantasy game that touches on a variety of topics, but this one hit a little bit closer to home, at least here. So we wanted to drop this quick content warning because you all know what is best for you, and if you feel like it would be best for you to jump out of this episode, trust that this is a side quest, and we can catch up with you in the next episode. Okay, according to what he said, if we use the torch on the painting, then that will solve all of our problems.
The portrait is ice cold to the touch, filling you with a sense of overwhelming dread. So why is the woman smiling?
Oh, I think that's it right there. Torch of Revocation. This staple of any worthwhile exorcist burns with a pale flame that destroys the anchors of troublesome ghosts in need of banishment. Let me just remember that I have the Sword of Screams. Or do I put it here? Oh, look at that. It's actually a light source, I guess. So let's do that. And then hit. Wait, no. Wait, is that right?
Oscar! Where is he? Where is he?
Oh, this is bad.
Who are you? Get out! Get out!
Please, Carrie, my darling, listen to me.
You brought me here. You did this. Do not interfere. He's coming home with me.
We can resolve this peacefully. You'll kill him. I rather like interfering. It's kind of my thing. I like that as a response. It feels much more natural for Alyssa than this, but I'm gonna feel bad if we don't try to resolve it peacefully. Let's resolve this peacefully.
Another one who wants to control me. He called me here. Trapped me. Pathetic little childish boy.
I only wished to explain myself to make you see how...
No! Enough of your whining. Enough! Selfish, arrogant bastard of an artist. I wanted to be left in peace.
What happened to you? Because this is changing my opinion on all of this. Missy Carrion was the one behind this. It wasn't Oscar's fault. Missy Carrion was the one behind this. Oscar was also a willing participant. I want to hear from her.
And how does that help me? Or is it just to help him? Why does everything always have to revolve around Oscar Beverus?
Oh, my sweet Carrie. What did I do to you?
Save your tears for the ethereal plane.
You're on the material plane, my hunting ground. Back off or face me. I am very inclined towards this. The Carrie Oscar spoke of was kind and gentle. This isn't the real you. But I like this one so much more. We get advantage or we get a +4 persuasion. I feel like we're going to go with the Ranger one here. I've never been a super pacifistic, like, very kindly person. We're not going to start now. This is my hunting ground. Back off or face me. I hope this works. I don't... This woman... Doesn't it feel like she's been through enough? Doesn't it feel like she's done her piece? 15. We've got 2 rolls and no bonus. Okay. We did it! Oh, I'm so happy.
What are you saying? You're trying to confuse me. It's so hard to think. I don't remember.
Carrie, my sweet meat. I just need to know that what you did, that it wasn't my fault.
Why am I here? I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be!
The spirit's aura flickers, changes. She is confused, lost, dragged here unwillingly by a man who refused to let her leave.
You got a message for us. Remember, you're going to tell us why you died by your own hand. You owe Oscar an explanation, and you're going to give it to him. No more harm will come to you by sharing your story, but it could help Oscar. I do like that. You Oscar nothing. He only brought you here to soothe his conscience. I don't know enough about this backstory. I feel like it was implied earlier that she had taken her own life, but look, I don't feel like I have enough information about these two virtual strangers to pass a lot of judgment on what they've done to each other or to themselves. So your bonds are broken. Go if that's your wish. I kind of like that one. Shoot. I don't like deception. I'm gonna reach for persuasion. Oh gosh, what do you think the DC on this is gonna be, though? You know something? Hold on. Hold on. We're going to do guidance. I want to hear her story, and I want her to have a chance to tell it. Persuasion. No more harm will come to you by sharing your story, but it could help Oscar. 18. And we got the possible +4 from guys. I have no inspiration. This is do or die.
Fine. If Oscar wants the truth, he can have it. We were a fling, nothing more. My decision had nothing to do with him. I did this because I was so fucking sad. All the time. Oscar finds it easier to imagine a world where women kill themselves over him than one where they have their own bloody problems.
I'm sorry, Carrie. I had no idea. But I was truly not to blame.
No, you weren't. So you and your poxy paintings stay away from me! We're done, Oscar. Over. Now let me rest in bloody peace.
Gods, what a mess I've made of it all. My sweet Ferelia. I've been a rotten fool, haven't I? And yet you never left my side.
It will take more than a ghost to scare me away. Though I wish you'd come to me sooner.
I'm not sure that she has a lot to forgive. There's a lot happening here. It's a surprisingly serious storyline. We're gonna keep going. What will you do now?
I'd like to stay. I confess I never felt ours was a marriage of substance. I rather thought you just liked me for my art. Throughout my ordeal, I saw how tenderly you cared for me. Even at my worst, you never left my side. Truly, you were the one who saved me. I'm so sorry, my darling.
Some of these comments, they're so judgmental, and let's talk about it in a second. I don't know that I do need to be paid for this. Saccharine nonsense, you two make me sick. I wish you both a long and happy marriage. I'm going to say that and leave it at that. To come into what is clearly a very complicated situation between a minimum of 3 people that I have nothing to do with at all. I showed up here because I came to check up on the artist that I had met fucking 200 hours of gameplay before and walked in on all of this. I didn't come here because I was asked to. I didn't come here because I was offered payment. I came here and I found people in distress and I helped them out and we're done. I wish you both a long and happy marriage.
Please, before you go, I must pay you back. Come upstairs to my atelier. I promise you'll leave with something priceless. Immortality.
If this man does anything other than put paint to canvas, we are leaving, and we're going to step over his body as we do it. I will join him in just a second.
So, first you save my husband, then you save our marriage. I can't tell you how grateful I am.
You're most welcome. Anything to support the arts.
Yes, rather more exciting than a fundraising banquet, wasn't it? Needless to say, Oscar won't be having anything more to do with the supernatural. One possession is quite enough for any marriage. You must take up his offer. Go to his atelier, sit for him. Then perhaps you will understand what I see in him, flawed as he is.
Moving in.
Here she is, the hero of the hour. Brushes are oiled, the canvas prepped, and you... well, you're comfortable. That's the main thing. So, shall we begin?
How long is this going to take? Something wrong with what I'm wearing. Let's do it. So let's assume a couple things. We're going to get a painting of my character, and it's going to be whatever she's wearing. We need to switch to her bow. Hold on a second.
Of course, whenever you're ready. Here she is, the hero of the hour. Brushes are oiled. Well, you're comfortable. That's the main thing. So, oh, not long at all. I've rather a good memory for faces, and I've been sketching yours since my return. I just need to add the final touches to capture that unique twinkle in your eye. So, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Wonderful. Stand yourself just there, and voila! All it needs now is a name. Something to capture the spirit in which it was created.
Do I get to see it? We're not going with the Ghost Whisperer. Absolutely not. Rather my name weren't on it, to be quite honest. Call it whatever you want. I'm not going to sell it. Let's not overcomplicate things. Portrait of an adventurer is fine. Mighty Defender of the Arts I don't like. And my name is not on it if it's just Portrait of an Adventurer. Yeah.
A very traditional choice. Perfect for such a dignified hero as yourself. Please, take it in for a moment. It's not every day one's face is preserved for posterity.
I've seen the masterworks of Reuben Delbert himself, and this portrait is far superior.
Is it... Okay, it seems cool that everybody's very inspired by this. Do I get to see it, or is it in my inventory? No, I want to see it. No, why is... This is not how you look at a painting on its edge. Okay, it's basically the coffee table book equivalent of a frame, but now we can see it at least a little bit. It came out pretty good. I thought it might be her in like a cool pose or whatever, and whatever armor that is, which actually looks like her cat armor, is fine. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit concerned that he was going to, of his own accord, decide to do a nude, in which case there would have been a lot of blood all over it. That is a very eventful episode of Baldur's Gate. I think we're going to call episode 47 right here. Between now and the next episode, I will need to do an inventory pass, get some stuff sold. Let's just take a 5-second look at our journal. That's it. Because I'm not going to find the rest of the clown pieces. We've been everywhere. We met Arabella and we don't know where her parents are. And the Githyanki warrior is coming up next because we got to go get ourselves Lae'zel. Remember her? I sure do. It's been way too long and we want to reunite with her next. So in the next episode, what I expect to do is to kick off pretty much immediately by going to interact with Orin. And we're going to see how all of that goes down. we will call it here. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 47 of Baldur's Gate 3, and we will see you guys again as soon as possible. Hey everyone, so we just wrapped up episode 47 of Baldur's Gate 3, and then I remembered that I had wanted to circle back and talk a bit about the quest that we explored in this episode, this quest about saving the painter, and then I got promptly distracted with all of this painting goodness and ended the episode. I really did want to circle back on this one specifically though, so I figured we'd take a few minutes now in this sort of epilogue to the main episode. If you're looking for additional gameplay, worry not, we'll have that covered for you in the next one. But for now, let's talk about this particular quest that centered on 3 different characters. In the order that we meet them here in Baldur's Gate, the city of Baldur's Gate, we first encounter Lady Jannath, who is the owner of the property, a very wealthy woman who has a lot of inherited wealth and lives in this very grand estate house. We learn very quickly that she seems to be a very kind and intelligent person. The first thing that we learn about her is that she wrote this letter releasing her staff from their duties and advising them that they would receive half pay during their holiday that they were not able to work at the site, and were free to pursue other employment in the meantime if they needed to make ends meet. Otherwise, her primary concern appeared to be for their safety. What Lady Jannath was communicating to them is, it's not safe for you to be here right now. The focus is very much on the safety and well-being of the staff members as they leave the site. And by the way, she stays behind because she recognizes exactly what's going on. And when we walk in, she's the one who tells us, hold on. My husband is doing this, but it's not his fault, and I need your help to save him. She is, under the circumstances, very collected, very calm. And I remember that I had the comment in the first section of this, I don't want to come off as being more emotional than she is, and she seems very collected about this whole thing. She's very self-possessed. No pun intended on the possessed there. Her fiancé is Oscar, and he's the painter that we rescued, I think, all the way back in like Act 1. And we know a few things about Oscar coming in. He's a talented painter, so talented that he was at one point abducted to generate paintings for the Zentarum, I think it was. Now he's made his way back home and is currently engaged to Lady Jannath, but as we find here at the estate house, that hasn't been going super well because we made our way up into his workshop there and we found a letter that Oscar had written to an ex-girlfriend of his named Carrie. And he writes, Carrie, is your spirit still here? Are you looking over my shoulder? Are you watching over me? I continue to feel tormented about this. It was something to that effect. And I read that as a letter of grief, the sort of thing that a person might write to a departed loved one to get some of their emotions and some of their feelings out into a physical form, to move it from their mind out onto paper so that it could sort of be phrased and crystallized a little bit. That's what I saw there. However, Oscar gets to live in a magical fantasy world where he doesn't just have to remember his departed loved one, he has things that he can do about it. In fact, he can do something that Alyssa herself does all the time, which is to speak with dead. Now, I'm not exactly clear who reached out to who, whether it was Mystic Carrion or Oscar, but a connection was made between the two of them, and Mystic Carrion agreed to put Oscar in contact with his ex-girlfriend, Carrie, and that sort of led to this current circumstance where Carrie's spirit has been bound to a painting, lashing out, taking the form of Oscar, filling the house with poltergeists, and that's why it's become a very dangerous situation. We use the torch on the painting, that released Carrie's spirit, then Carrie is able to confront Oscar, and in there, thanks to some very, very fortunate rolls, we're able to get the rest of Carrie's story. Now, we still know very, very little about Carrie, but what we do learn from her. Now, we still know very, very little about Carrie, but the parts that we do learn are, number one, when she took her own life, it had nothing to do with Oscar whatsoever. Oscar was someone that she knew, a fling, just a fling, as Carrie puts it. And instead, when she took the action that she did, it was born out of the fact that she was as she puts it herself, so fucking sad all the time. There was what I would characterize in this circumstance as a deep, chronic depression that Carrie was dealing with all the time, and ultimately that led her to the action of taking her own life, and Oscar was barely even a footnote. But now, in this magical fantasy setting, Carrie has been brought back onto the material plane and made to confront this guy that, frankly, she barely even knows, and made to answer this question as Oscar asks her, was it me? Did I do this? Was I the one who failed you? And Carrie's like, no, none of this, and get away from me, and I don't want to have anything to do with this. And with all of those facts available, it felt like there was not only the presence of, but almost an emphasis on opportunities for Alyssa to blame Oscar, to lay all of this at his feet. And I was looking at those options and thinking to myself, okay, step one, a video game offering you a dialogue choice that you don't want to take, well, that's why it's a dialogue choice. It's only if it only offers you terrible choices that you should really feel some sort of a way about it. In this case, I did feel like there were just so many opportunities to say to Lady Jannath, no, Oscar's the one that did this. It's Oscar's fault, and so forth. That's why I wanted to circle back on this. It's one of two reasons to discuss, just for a moment, if Oscar was a really bad dude, if Oscar was a complete narcissist, or if he had done this maliciously, what would I have expected to see from him? And number one, nothing at all. I wouldn't have expected Oscar to take any action at all. If this guy was a massive narcissist who was only into it for his own ego, what does he need Carrie for? Here he's got a really sweet setup. He's got his own studio. He's got the heart of a very wealthy woman. He's got everything that he needs in terms of advancing his art career. And frankly, she seems extremely kind and generous towards him, cares for him a lot. Why would he care about resurrecting Carrie whatsoever? It doesn't seem to me like the actions of somebody who doesn't care for Carrie or had nothing but contempt for her. There's no element of, oh, you dumped me, Carrie, but look where I am now. He has one question for her, and only one that he repeats a couple times, which is, was this my fault? Did I do this to you? And that leads me to my understanding of Oscar as someone who was besieged by this survivor's guild. Somebody who was, in his mind, emotionally very, very close to somebody who took their own life, and now he is very, very troubled by the worry, the concern that there would have been something that he could have done. What did I fail to see? What did I fail to do for somebody that I cared about that they didn't feel loved enough, cared for enough, seen or recognized or supported enough that might have contributed to this? And this would, I think, likely come up for Oscar because he is on the cusp of this brand new relationship with Lady Jannath. And what if he was responsible? What if there is something that he failed? And if this new relationship means anything to him, I can understand him as feeling very concerned that he might be bringing something poisonous into it based on how that happened. I don't know about Dungeons and Dragons world, but in the real world, survivor's guilt is a very real thing that tends to affect the people that know someone who ended their own life. And that's a lot of what I see happening here with Oscar. Now, Oscar does have one interesting line of dialogue where, after everything has been resolved, he turns to Lady Jannath and says, in truth, I never thought that our relationship was one of true substance, but now that I've seen how you stayed at my side, I realize that I was wrong, or this is the real deal, or whatever it is that he says. That might have been read under other circumstances as, oh, this was just a fling for Oscar. Oh, he's just in it for the lulz and for the money and, the comfortable studio. I don't see that here, because I think that what was going on is that, especially if Oscar was very, very concerned about the fate of this previous relationship, it might have been difficult for him to see any self-worth in himself at all. That what on earth would a woman like Lady Jannath have to see in me? After all, I'm just an artist and not one who's been particularly fortunate in love. How can I trust that any of this is real, that she's not just a dalliance? And here, when he got to witness, partially at least from a coma it seems, that she really does care very deeply for him, that's when he realized that this wasn't just a marriage of convenience or to be a trophy husband, but rather she really does love him. And by going through this very harrowing experience, hopefully their relationship has come out stronger. All of that is what I see in the situation, and why you might have heard a little bit of a reaction when I saw some of the dialogue choices that Alyssa was offered to say about Oscar, and ultimately why I very much focused on, I wish the two of you well, I think that you have a good relationship, and I hope that you continue to pursue that. Now, the second thing that I wanted to cover about this is the story of Carrie herself, because we don't get to learn very much about Carrie, but based on the amount that her spirit says, and I just want to pause to say that Carrie's spirit as presented may not reflect the whole of the person. For one thing, she seems completely consumed by rage, and how much of that is very righteous indignation over the untenable situation that she's been forced into against her will, versus the idea that this may only be a partial specter that was brought back by Mystic Carrion. It might have been deliberately engineered to be as violent and unstable as possible, in the hopes that Mystic Carrion could then come in and sell a cure to the situation that he intentionally caused. It's hard to say, because we never get any exposure to Carrie beforehand. However, the one Carrie that we do get to interact with indicates, I think, very clearly that she wants nothing to do with this, nothing to do with Oscar, wants to be released, and wants to go back to the rest that she had found. That last section there is why I think that this one quest in Baldur's Gate 3 is likely to receive a very rare content warning, because I think that what Carrie says could be construed as she finally found rest from the misery that she was in, and I feel that that is an extremely sensitive topic, one that I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not here to be able to answer those questions. I strongly urge that anyone who has themselves grappled with depression or those sorts of thoughts instead consult with an authorized professional, somebody who can provide that assistance, because let's just say that a ghost in a fantasy video game is not the one who we should be listening for the solutions to our problems. And I don't think that there was any malice whatsoever intended by the developer, and also looked at that situation from Carrie and said, this whole thing is making me very uncomfortable. That's why I just wanted to talk a little bit more about that. Ultimately, the way that the questline came out, Carrie has been released from this situation and is hopefully at rest in whatever that means in this fantasy Dungeons and Dragons setting. And I hope that Oscar and Lady Jannath, who I legitimately take to be two very well-meaning people locked into an extremely bad situation, are able to take this and move forward onto a relationship that I hope will work out for them. Final note, these are obviously all fictional characters, but if we're meant to engage with the story in good faith, I think that we should try to interact with them as though they are real people in this setting, and try to consider, well, what would any of us do if we were that besieged by feelings of guilt and loss and grief in a world where there actually is something that you can do to communicate with lost loved ones? And how would I, as Alyssa the Ranger, go to pass judgment on somebody like Oscar, who took an action that Alyssa takes 3 times an episode to talk with dead people, and he just wanted that moment of closure with somebody who had meant something to him, and ultimately, upon getting that closure, he wasn't even particularly troubled by the fact that he had only been a fling, and more relieved that he was not responsible for the very intense suffering of another person. And I think that that was mostly what was on his mind. Surely he cared about Carrie a great deal. I think that he would have done whatever he could to help her. And knowing now that it was entirely outside of his control, I think that he's found that closure that he can move forward. And with that, we're now going to move forward. Thank you for joining me for this special epilogue to episode 47. I am not often moved to talk in this sort of detail about a specific point on a game that is this large, but this one got under my skin a little bit, and I just want to talk a little bit about it and to clear the air on what I thought about it, and just on our way out, really enduring this game, including that quest. It had a lot to say, and it hit a little bit closer to home than most of our fights against undead dragons and brain parasites. So there we go. That's the ending. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next episode.